Hey everyone, it's me, Dirty Honey. So today I'm thinking about the never say never thing, whatever that is. It's like this. You're supposed to never say never because it'll end up happening or something. Like what you don't want out of the situation will end up happening or something like that. They say never, for example, oh, this bad thing will never happen to me. And then a week later, guess what? Boom, that bad thing happened to you. But what sucks, or what's interesting about it, kind of, is like you can't do that same similar thing. It doesn't work with, like, oh, I'm never going to win the lottery. And then next week you win the lottery. Well, I guess you have to play first. So, I don't know if my test went very far on that one, but still, if you say this stuff like that, then it doesn't seem to work. It's almost like you can only curse yourself by saying that. And so I wonder if, words in general can, other than just saying never, can actually curse or benefit you. And if you can kind of, maybe that's what magic is. And maybe magic is the use or the skill of being able to kind of control that whole never say never power or whatever's out there that makes bad nevers come true and good nevers never happen. So it's like, maybe that's where magic comes from, and people who know how to do that, it's like that's what a spell is they use their words in a way that kind of tricks or manipulates the never say never rule that may exist in nature or in the universe or whatever. Nice little motorcycle dude. Dang, I should have filmed that guy. He's got this little tiny motorcycle. He can barely fit on it. Like, it's super small, smaller than a bicycle, half the size of a bicycle. Anyways, so I wonder if that's what magic is, if that's where magic comes from, and maybe magic is fucking real, and that's like a thing that is the power of words. And the never say never is kind of just like a glimpse into magic. Like, maybe that is the visible part of magic that, it can't be hidden, but at the same time, we don't recognize it because we're not looking at it like it could be magic. But potentially magic is the power to, or the skill of knowing the power of words being let out into the universe and using those to kind of control or bat back and forth that never say never rule, or other rules that are out there too that we might not be privy to because we're not fucking wizards or some shit, or fucking warlocks or whatever the hell uses magic, witches. And so those are a thing. Maybe I should do a video on that. I'm going to do that. Good idea. Witches, you guys are next. Warlocks, witches, and all that. So I'm thinking that potentially never say never is something that came up as almost like a glimpse into magic, and potentially that's like a lifting up the skirt of magic to kind of peer in there a little bit and have this, our basically we're all magicians or we're all wizards, but we don't know how to use our magic. It's there, we don't even recognize it. So again, one of these things that I would probably put in the long ass time ago category, back when man first started roaming the earth a long ass time ago. Maybe words and the magic that they produced was a lot easier to recognize, and potentially magic was something that back in the day, because you hear about wizards and magic and all this fucking big pot with these, the witch putting the eye of Newt in there and shit, to make potions and stuff. Like, maybe nowadays it's kind of fairy taleized or whatever, so that we're like, oh yeah, it's just a fairy tale. But potentially that shit was real deal back in the day, and there was actually wizards who knew what the fuck they were doing, and used magic through words and spells and shit that they could cast out onto people, and it was like a more common thing back then. There might be a hidden society of these people out there right now. Who knows? And maybe they're not even hidden. They're saying it out loud, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Go read a poem, bro. Yeah, so it might not be, everyone kind of, maybe that's something that the media and whatever, or potentially even the wizards themselves have kind of not wanted everybody to know is there, and so they're kind of like, oh, well, let's just turn it into a little cartoony type thing, and so everyone will just, pass it on as like fake, and tell them religion, have them focus on that. That's the magic that's real. And they won't notice about our actual real magic, where we use words to control the outcome of things, because words are powerful shit. Again, I think somewhere in the Bible it even says that. The Bible is referenced all the time, man. This book, I should read other books, but nobody around me reads those and tells me what it says in there, so I don't get that. And Dirty Honey's hella busy. I don't have time to go around reading every freaking book of God that's out there. I think there's a bunch of them. But one of these days I'll make it to that. I'm 1,000,000 years old. I got 1,000,000 to go, so we'll squeeze it in. But anyways, the never say never thing, I'm thinking potentially has ties to magic and casting spells. And way back in the day, a long ass time ago, when like the Sword in the Stone and shit, back in that time, Disney movie, that maybe magic was a lot more prevalent back then, and people were just like, every neighborhood had a magician or a wizard and shit, and you'd go down there and he'd make things happen. And potentially that's something like kings would be like, hey man, we need to get a couple wizards in here. That's why they were always part of the mix next to the warriors, so that they could use their magic spells to kind of help persuade the outcome of the king's motive, what he's trying to get accomplished there with his ruling and shit. So I don't want to go on too long about this, but I'm thinking the never say never thing is probably, or potentially at least, has some sort of reality and use, and maybe you can sharpen your skill of using words to maybe even make the outcome more lucky. You can skew lucky in your benefit, or towards your, and make it good for you. But I don't know if that's a thing. We'll have to talk to some witches and warlocks and wizards and shit and find out. But anyways, that's it. This is Dirty Honey, reminding you to be nice. And don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that shit, spam it. Use some magic, dude. Use the power of words on your device and other social media to spam this shit out. Words are fucking magic, dude. We just don't know, maybe some of us do. If any of you guys are wizards or warlocks or witches, put it in the comments, dude. I'd love to talk to you about this kind of stuff. Anyways, don't forget to listen to 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet, where the music there is fucking magic. Those guys were all magicians and musicians. Ooh, musicians are magicians. They're magic. They make magic. They're awesome. I'm a musician that sucks, but I still love playing. It's so fun. I feel like Jimi Hendrix when I play the guitar, even though everyone runs away holding their ears. So anyways, that's it. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, all that. Be nice. And we'll see you next time.